Hey guys, what's up? Well, we got the Beeman 1022, only with the 22 barrel right now until I can get a cleaning kit for the 177 barrel. The scope, well, either it's not holding or the trigger's so heavy and when it jumps, it's hard to get a stable shot. Anyways, a bit more practice and definitely the gun needs to be broken in more. I hope not too many millions of pellets. But anyway, I don't know. The scope's kind of interesting, but we figure we'll do the testing now. So we're going to start with an 11.9 grain hobbies because of the lightest pellets I have for lead. And we're going to see what kind of numbers this thing gives us. .508. Not that I care, I have my pal. That's a benefit of a pal, man. If it's running hot and it's a rifle, no problem. But this is not a standard weighted pellet, and it's definitely not a Beeman pellet for sure. 512 again. So she's definitely going to run a little hot, but you got to remember 11 grain at 512. It's not going to have a ton of energy compared to slightly heavier and slightly slower, right? Lighter pellets are faster, but that's about it. 505. So we got 500s. Let's call that a draw. So next up, we've got, what the hell are these? 14 3 grain destroyers. 13.8 is actually Crossman's lightest all lead pellet. At least it used to be. I don't know what it is now or if it's changed. I don't keep an eye on Crossman pellets because generally they don't get along with any of my guns, including Crossman guns. Let's put 3 through. 454. Safety off. 456. I'm not doing 10 shot groups and wasting pellets. You don't need to do that kind of garbage. Not sure if that registered or not. Let's try that again. I don't think it came up the same duplicate. Safety. 453. 450s. I mean, so far, we can still take down rabbits, gophers, small little squirrels for sure. Rabbits. No, they're not bad. Good little bird gun for grouse and rabbit and smaller squirrels. All right, let's move up to a couple rounds of Super H Point RWS, 14.5 grain, 0.2 grains more. So, different shape of pellet too. Pellet shape does make a difference as well. It's called the aerodynamics, you know. So let's see what happens with these. .440. Of course, doing this is helping to blow that factory oil and crap out of the gun to stabilize things and work in that really tight trigger. Believe me, it is tight. 445. Still lots of knockdown power for some small game. Just don't miss her. You scare your game off real quick. It's a little noisy. Let's put another one through. Well, at least the gun hasn't exploded yet. 446. I'd say we call it about a 445. All right, let's give this thing a butt whooping. Actually not yet. 15.89 grain Hades. I call these the plutonium pellets because of the little plutonium signature. So I love these and Predator poly mags. Not the shorts polys, but the long ones. Shorts are good in pistols, but yeah, you know. Anyhow, let's see what this does. 420. Well, we're still hitting little squirrels. We're still doing rabbits in, and I think we could still do a gopher. And if you get the grouse in the breast, definitely. Head, I'm not sure. Neck, definitely. Because we're still around 6 foot-pounds. And we're 15 yards doing this. And I actually hunt grouse, well, in the backyard. About 14 yards is where I'm sighted for my deer. And I took a grouse with my bow at 14. So, you know, mind you, a lot more energy in an arrow, but still enough power. Just 416. Oh, double. Nice. Wonder what the accuracy is going to be like out of these. You get more bang for your buck out of Hades than you do the JSB Predators. Because Predators only come with 200 rounds for about 18 bucks. 415. I'd say we could call that an average of 415, which, you know, I think that with this pellet at least, this is what we can expect. And 415, I mean, the little squirrels, you can pop them at, you know, this range and a little closer, same as a few other little small games. But if you want to hunt black and gray squirrels, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not doing that with a non-pal pellet gun. I've tried headshots so many times on the blacks, and it's almost like they bounce off their head, pisses them off. A half an hour or so later, they come back for more, and so I just kind of gave up, and out comes the arrows. And that worked better. But you actually need, what did they say it was? I think it was just over 700 feet per second with 22 cal in order to kill a black or gray squirrel. All right, 16 grain Predators. These are really cool pellets. And you don't play with them like we are, because they're bloody expensive and you only get 200 rounds of 10. So, let's see. .403. I'll have to check the energy output to tell you what that's going to end up being, but you can also check an air gun calculator online and see. But 403, that's, well, let me put you this way. My Crossman 2240 that I had built custom, that my buddy now has, that thing put out 488 with a 13.8, and it put out 470s, 7-ish, with these Predator poly mags in the Hades, without thinking about it. That thing was putting out really good for small game, so not sure what these are going to be like. I'll have to check the energy at these speeds. Let's see what else we get. 409. Let's run a couple more. Or 12. Don't play with these. We don't play with them. We do today. We need to know. .410. This is looking like a .410 average. Last one. Let's see what she does. Well, let's split the difference to be kind. How about .408 average with 16 grain Predator polymags? Now remember, heavier pellets are going to exhibit a little bit more energy, so I'm going to have to run my own numbers, but I mean, no matter how you look at it, this gun is going to choose in the end what it's going to shoot the best with for groups, and it's going to take a bit of practice, only because, well, spring rifles, it's not the issue. I'm good with a rifle, okay? I mean, I'm killer with a CO2 one, and my new 22 LR. But with a Springer, this is not bad for non-PAL, because it's under 500 feet per second. When you're staying within the guidelines of the manufacturer's testing pellets, which is usually 13.8 with Crossman. I have no idea what the hell Beeman uses. But with an 11 grain hobby, the gun will always run hot, but I wouldn't be concerned about that, because 5 feet per second, although legally in Canada that's PAL rated, it's actually not, because the fact that you are using a lighter than normal pellet, because RWS, we're talking Diana stuff, right? And Beeman would still be using at least a minimum of a 13 grain pellet to 13.8, which is definitely going to keep you just under the 500 limit. So the gun is running basically, let's call it, as far as the up to rating, because they actually said that on the box, it's actually running up to that 495 range with lead pellets in 22. It'll be very interesting to see how this thing handles lead 177. I don't have any alloy pellets right now, so that's going to be a no-go, but I do have some lead stuff. I'm not sure what I have in total, but I will see, and we're going to have to deal with what we have until I can get money to get more pellets, obviously, but I'm also not going to invest any money into alloy pellets, like the exotic, really light ones, but they don't even give weight. But they said up to 495 alloy with the 177, and we're getting, you know, a good rating, definitely with 14.3s. We're getting exceedingly healthy with the 11s, but just keep in mind, these are also paper punchers. I don't know if you can kill small game with a flathead. I've never tried it. I always like pointed pellets for that, because it's, you know, more ethical. But either way, that's the numbers we've got for you. So yeah, at least you know from 11.9 to 16 grain what this thing is capable of. But this trigger, I hope it loosens up over time, because there doesn't appear to be any kind of adjustment to it. Mind you, I'm going to actually read what pathetic manual we do get with it. I don't think it is, but well, I do see an Allen screw down there, so maybe, hopefully, because frig, that is damn way too heavy. Like, that is way heavy. I don't know, unless that's part of the sear lockup and I'm seeing things, but I don't think it's going to have an adjustable trigger. However, it's staying together. Time will tell if the scope actually does hold zero once we figure it out, because right now it's going to shoot erratic until we break it in. But I've had enough of this for one day. The gun's functional. It seems to be operating fine, but it does need break-in time, so we're going to have to do that. Until next time, see ya.